Right, Lisa, turn on the road. All right, as you correctly said last time, it is called a turn on the road, not a three-point turn, but we try and teach the three-point turn, but also encompassing that turn in the road. As you said before, try and do it in those 3 points. All right, the idea is to turn this car around so it's facing the opposite direction without touching those curbs. Okay? We'll stop on the left-hand side as close to the curb as you possibly can, so it's that parking up position, not that storm grid's width away.
Oh.
Parking up position. All right? As you would do with anything, you prepare the vehicle. So it's clutch in first gear, find your bite. Do your observations, those same observations as you would do as you were setting off. Making sure that you clearly look all around and that right shoulder to make sure, because you are going to be turning your vehicle across the side of the road. Okay? Moving quite slowly, so this is a clutch control exercise. Alright, so the speed of the car should be at an old man's walking pace. However, because it is a turn in the road, you are going to be turning that steering wheel. The idea is to have your full lock on, which is very well explained, by the time we get to the centre of the road. Okay? You mentioned nothing about cambers on the road. Remember, roads aren't flat like this. They have the camber. So once we get across the centre, you have to be mindful of what the speed of the car is doing. Okay? So, across there, slowing yourself down so your foot, your right foot should be near that brake, and your left foot is obviously going to be on the clutch because you don't want the clutch all the way up because it's a nice slow manoeuvre. Okay? You're aiming to stop the car before hitting that curb. So about 1 metre away from the curb, you start to turn that wheel to the left, stopping 6 inches away from the curb. Alright? So using this mirror here as the reference point. Okay? Yep. So the curb would be just behind that mirror, as we're about 1 metre, and just underneath that mirror, we're about those 6 inches. Handbrake on, into reverse gear to secure the car. Yes, you look out of that window there, yes, you look out that window there, and yes, you look out that back window there because you are going backwards. You are looking out of both of these windows to make sure that there are no vehicles waiting either side. Okay? And also looking at that back window to make sure that there's nothing walking behind you. When it's safe to do so, again, you find your bite, bearing in mind of that camber. Depending on the severity of the camber, depending on how much bite you're going to need.
Do you always put your handbrake on? Yeah.
To secure the car. Alright? As you've already started to turn that wheel to the left anyway, once the car starts to move, you're then quickly turning that wheel to the left. And again, aiming to have that full lock on as you get to the middle of the road. Alright, again, being mindful of that camber as well as because it will go down that way as well. So what you'll do is when you get across the centre of that road, you'll start to look out of your right. Alright? You said something about that mirror there about using as a reference point. You don't need to, because the curb should be on the right hand side, not the left hand side. If it's a narrow road where you're teaching a turn in the road, then it would be that side first, but then it would be this side last.
Ah, that's the bit I'm struggling on, because I thought your reference point was this back wheel, because that would hit the curb first.
If you look at this picture here,
Yeah.
it's going to be your right wheel that's going to potentially hit the curb first.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yes. So it's this side. All right. Now, depending on what the car is and depending on what that person can see, generally, when you get halfway across, the curb should disappear from that mirror there to the bottom of that mirror.
That's without altering them.
That's without altering
That's
them.
as they are. Yeah.
Yes. Lots of people can't see that for different reasons. So I use the door pillar as a reference because it's there, it's not going to move. All right? When they are 1 metre away from the curb, the door pillar, the curb is just behind that door pillar.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's that metre. Then you start turning the wheel to your right, still going backwards nice and slowly, and then the curb should be just in the middle of this door pillar when you're about those 6 inches away. Handbrake goes on to secure the car again into that first gear, and you look to your left, straight in front of you, and to your right. Yeah? Any questions with that?
Was I right in what I said about once you've got into your position, checking what the other vehicles and that are doing behind you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
You
okay.
should do that without
Thinking.
thinking about it, really, because you need to know what they are doing. Yeah?